We're here today to talk about programs and funding. And as ASCAME, we want to present the programs and different projects where we are working at the international level in the Mediterranean. Okay, I just made a very quick presentation, and I structured the presentation. First, we want to speak about the instruments for European Mediterranean international cooperation, and then we will present some examples of ASCAME's members network and the kind of projects we are involved in. Here we have a short map, like a scheme of the main points of my presentation. Of course, ASCAME has chambers of commerce in the north and south of the Mediterranean. We are an association of chambers of commerce in 23 countries with more than 300 chambers of commerce. And as I was saying, we work in the whole Mediterranean. So we're looking for funding that will be positive for our members in the north and in the south. In the north of the Mediterranean, we can make reference to this big program. I'm just going to mention Interreg Euromed program. Okay, it has different stages and different moments. At this moment, Interreg has a program going from 2021 up to 2029, and we have 294 millions of euros allocated to this program. And this is basically for North Mediterranean countries and for IPA countries. I'm not going to talk about this program because I want to talk more about the southern vision, where we work with North Mediterranean chambers of commerce and at the same time Southern Mediterranean chambers of commerce. So I'm going to skip quickly and go to the EU southern neighborhood, where we can talk about the policy, why all these programs exist, different instruments, and then we can go for the examples where ASCAME is working and what we're doing there. Okay. So when we talk about Mediterranean funding programs, and we're not just looking up to the north, as we were seeing before with Interreg Euromed, we need to look for instruments or mechanisms for funding which are open to all chambers of commerce, in this case, because they are our members, in the north and south of the Mediterranean. The southern neighborhood is the common name that the European Commission is using when they refer to the countries in the southern part of the Mediterranean. And it's very important to understand why all these programs exist. In terms of policy, the finality of the EU southern neighborhood is stabilization, security, and prosperity in the whole Mediterranean. I mean, all these programs are addressed to boost Mediterranean small medium enterprises competitiveness, promote investment in these countries, foster job creation, in this case targeting young population, women, and the development of small medium enterprises, and at the same time facilitate the access to finance. But it's very important, coming back to the policy, I mean, these three topics: stabilization, peace and security, and economic prosperity. This is in the end, the essence, what lies in all the finality of most of these programs. And if we check the strategies for small medium enterprises, we can realize that at the same time, we have this process of digitalization, which is stronger after the COVID-19 pandemic, and of course, the necessity of implementing the Green Deal challenges. These two issues are key at this moment for the European Union. Green Deal, the implementation of Green Deal, not just in the northern part of the Mediterranean, but at the same time in southern Mediterranean countries, and also this big effort for digitalization in the north and in the south. And this is in the core of most of these programs and projects, and going in the different programs which exist for the Mediterranean. I'm trying, okay. I don't know. Okay, here. As I was saying before, and we come back to the policy, in 2020, there was a new agenda for the Mediterranean. This agenda is tackling the goals of a green, digital, and the recovery after COVID, of course, and it's in line with the European Green Deal, and at the same time, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals that were achieved in the Paris Agreement. So this agenda that was decided in 2020 had many ideas and proposals for the period 2021-2027, which is the period ongoing at this moment. The first and most important point is mobilization of funds, okay? Under a multi-annual financial framework, the European Union thought about mobilizing up to 7 billion euros under the Neighborhood and Development and International Cooperation Instrument, and the ICI. That's very important. This money, it's if we talk about a blending scheme and a multilateral scheme, if we put €1, we can get more. And the idea of attracting private and public investment, and to attract up to 30 billion euros for the southern neighborhood. So these 7 billions that the European Union thought and decided under the Neighborhood and Development International Cooperation Instrument, NDCI, have the goal to look for and attract private and public investment. And that's very important. The idea is reaching these 30 billion euros for the southern neighborhood in different programs in order to implement digitalization, green agenda, and the rest of main priorities that were set up in the agenda. And I just wrote very quickly the 5 top priorities in the agenda. First one, in line with all these elements of the policy that we were talking before, is human development, good governance, and the rule of law. Second priority would be resilience, prosperity, and digital transition. Here we find digitalization, as we were saying before. Third and key point, peace and security, which, as we saw before, it's in the core of all this policy for southern neighborhood. Then, of course, a very trendy, and I think that we can find it every day in newspapers in the European Union, the issue of migration and mobility. And of course, a Green Deal, in this case, green transition, fight climate change and decrease of emissions. And here we have a lot of different initiatives and the different programs which are looking at climate neutral, low carbon and renewable energies, promote investments in energy efficiency, and at the same time, in terms of small medium enterprises, support to the green, blue, and social economies through innovative financial mechanisms, and the participation in the European Union Framework Program, which is Horizon Europe, which is the successor of Horizon 2020. I mean, all these priorities are in the core of those big mobilization of funds we were talking before. I repeat it because this is key. 7 billion euros with the idea of mobilizing and attracting private and public investment up to 30 billion euros for the southern neighborhood. Skip to the next one. Okay. Then in continuing, after describing the policy, my idea was just showing some examples, okay, of the different programs and projects that the European Commission, through this year and the mechanism of EuropeAid, has been putting in place in the last recent years. Here, I just took one project that was implemented with the participation of ASCAME. It's EPSOMED. It was a project addressed to support business support organizations in the Mediterranean. And as I was saying before, this is a very interesting project because it was addressed to the southern neighborhood. If we check, it was a project with a budget of 6.25 million euros for a 4 years program, 2018-2022, but it suffered some enlargements, extensions, and it finished in mid-2023. Beneficiaries, as I was saying before, we find 10 southern neighborhood countries: Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Palestine, Syria, and Tunisia. And there was a consortium of 6 partners with more than 30 affiliated organizations from 26 countries. And as I was saying before, the main objective was support and strengthen the capacities of support business organizations in southern neighborhood, with the idea that if we have strong BCOs, business support organizations, they can support small, medium enterprises. They can enhance business opportunities, and this helps to develop the private sector in the southern neighborhood. And it contributes, as I was saying before, in terms of policy, to stability, to peace, and economic prosperity. Okay. And if we check just very quickly the main instruments of this project, we can see that we made more than 26 business support organization academies, training for companies, training for people coming from the southern neighborhood, and as well as in the southern neighborhood countries. We made business matching fora. We made different cross-sectoral strategies. We developed labeling for BCOs. We made many roadshows, and at the same time, we made joint activities with donors. This was a whole package that this great project supported by the European Commission addressed to the southern neighborhood countries. Another example in this policy towards the southern neighborhood countries, we can find it with Recruitment. Recruitment is an initiative implemented through the European Commission this year with the support of EuropeAid, which in this case is implemented by UNIDO, is implemented by UNEDMAP, and its Regional Activity Center for Sustainable Consumption and Production, SCP-RAC, in close coordination with the European Union this year. This is also a program funded by the European Union. It had several phases, 2013-2018 with 24 million euros, the phase 2, 2018-2022 with 18 million euros, and at present it is still ongoing with different activities. And the main core of this project was circularity. We talk about digitalization, we also talk about Green Deal, but another key point in economic trends is circularity. So the main idea of this project was to support the transition to a circular economy in eight Mediterranean countries. Some southern neighborhood countries such as Egypt, Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, Palestine, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, and create some hubs per country. For every one of these countries to create one hub. And this was in line with the new circular economy plan adopted by the European Commission, which main idea was to develop a community of stakeholders, train green business entrepreneurs and startups, and engage policymakers to establish regulatory and policy framework to drive the sustainable products and service markets. As I was saying, this makes also part of this big policy for economic prosperity in the Southern Mediterranean. We saw before with ASCAME supporting and strengthening and enhancing business support organizations. Why? So I was saying before, to strengthen small medium enterprises and economic prosperity in Southern Mediterranean. We see here another example. In this case, this year, and the European Community financed some southern neighborhood countries with the idea to support the transition towards a circular economy in Mediterranean countries. As you see, two different examples, but all of them address to economic stability, peace, and economic prosperity in southern Mediterranean countries. And here we have a big program, which is at present, there was a big launch recently at the end of 2023, and the first call for proposals was open at the end of December 2023. It closed in May 2024, and it's like the jewel of the crown. Okay, we have the Next Med program for the period 2021-2027, which is the successor of the former ENI CBC Med program, which ran from 2014-2020, and before there was the NP program that ran from 2007 up to 2013. So we see that this big instrument addressed to cross-border cooperation in the Mediterranean, addressed to southern neighborhood and northern Mediterranean countries, has been going on from 2007 up to now. It's practically 20 years of a program envisaging the finality of supporting the Mediterranean countries. As we see, as I repeat, NP program 2007-2013, NECB Med program 2014-2020, and right now we are in Next Med program 2021-2027, and waiting for the results of the first call of proposal that was launched at the end of 2013 and was closed in May 30th, May 2024. Okay, what's the main goal? The main goal of this program is to finance cooperation projects that address to joint socioeconomic, environmental, and governance challenges at Mediterranean level. This is a great cooperation instrument, as I said before, of the European Union, which is targeting the cohesion. Well, it's thinking, it's rooted in the European Union cohesion policy. At the same time, it makes part of the Interreg instrument, which supports European territorial cooperation across regions and countries. And it's an instrument addressing to peace, stability, and economic prosperity in the Mediterranean. It's addressed to more than 200 million of inhabitants, 100 eligible territories. Here you can see the map, which practically makes the round of the Mediterranean, and 15 countries, 13 Mediterranean countries which were participating in the NECP-MED program, which are, you can see there, from Spain, making the round up to Northern Africa, and 2 new countries in this NECP-MED program, Algeria and Turkey. So what's the mechanism? This is our finance cooperation projects. It's addressed to finance cooperation projects through call of proposals. The EU budget comes from the European Regional Development Fund, ERDF, the Instrument of Pre-Accession, IPA 3, and the Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, and the ICI. Okay, here we have the main picture that we took when it was presented the NECP-MED proposal. At the same time, it was presented this Interreg NECP-MED with the logo "Everything MED Possible." Okay, and here we are, NECP-MED program 2021-2027 budget. This program has 253 million euros, of which 230 for project funding and 23 for technical assistance. The EU contribution is going up to 89%. In NECP-MED, it was 90%. In NECP-MED, it's 89%, and it requires in every project a co-financing minimum of 11% at project level. We find 4 priorities. You can see 4 different colors, and then I wrote 4 different colors for every one of the priority with the allocated millions for every one. Okay, the first one is a smart Mediterranean. Okay, it has 66.6 millions, which corresponds to the 29% of the program budget. Okay, then we have a greener Mediterranean, which is developed to Green Deal, with 96.9 million corresponding to 42% of the program budget. Priority 3 to the social issues, which is called a more social Mediterranean, with 48.8 million corresponding to 21% of program budget. And then we have the 4th priority, which is addressed to governance issues, a better cooperation governance for the MED, with 17.7 allocated to the Interreg specific objective, corresponding to 8% of the program budget. So you can see right now the 4 main priorities, okay, in the agenda, and how these 253 million are allocated and distributed to the 4 different priorities, which the 2 more important, larger one, and I think most of projects that presented in this first call for standard projects allocated in the first one, Smart Mediterranean, mainly to the strengthening of small medium enterprises with 66.6 million, and then the Green Mediterranean with 96.9 million. This is the whole package of the program. As now we will see in the first launch, the amounts are lesser because it was just a first launch for the standard projects. Here we have the call for proposals that it was launched open in December 2023 and closed in 30 May 2024 with the 4 priorities, and the money that was allocated and were different institutions, companies from all eligible territories that presented to this first standard call for proposals presented. So in the first priority, Smart Mediterranean, mainly the strengthening and enhancing of small medium enterprises, there was a package of 33.6 million. In priority 2, a Green Mediterranean devoted to Green Deal innovation related to Green Deal issues, it was 48.9 million. Priority 3 in social issues, such as for young people, for gender issues, 24.7 million. And priority 4 in governance issues, 8.9 million. This was the amount of millions that were allocated in this first call of proposal for a total up of 103.6 million euros. So as you see, this big mechanism, which is just starting at this moment. I mean, the first call was launched. We don't know exactly how many projects will be in the end successful and in which countries, but there were hundreds of projects presented by different consortia from all over the Mediterranean, looking for being one of the elected and benefiting in the different priorities of these 103.6 million allocated of this first call of standard projects. Okay. We describe at first these big mechanisms. I talk about the policy, I talk about some examples of the European Commission engineer and the kind of projects and what they were looking for when they implement policies in Southern Mediterranean. We at the same time talk about the ENI, NPA, NextMed, which is the big project open to Southern neighborhood. And now, when we talk about ASCAME, in ASCAME, we try to support companies, we try to boost economic recovery after the COVID, supporting companies and BCOs in the Mediterranean. As ASCAME, we are giving a lot of importance to economic activation, and we are focusing, and our strategic planning is addressed to green economy, energy efficiency, cultural heritage, innovation, investment, and technology. And as key sectors, we in ASCAME, we are focusing in innovation, digitalization, sustainability, blue and green economy, agri-food, tourism, greening small medium enterprises, and of course, supporting and strengthening business alliances in the whole Mediterranean. Okay. And here we have some of the projects that we've been implementing during these years in this NECP-MED program, which was the previous one of this NextMed. Just to mention, in ASCAME, several members implemented projects in cultural heritage through iHeritage, incubators through IntechMed, in agriculture through organic ecosystem. We had projects of adventure tourism, sustainable tourism with Medusa, BCOs, as I said before, with EPSOMED, projects regarding renewable energies and water management and sustainability in terms of energy with Mayataka. We found emphasis creating networks to facilitate market uptake and of innovations. We have two projects also in blue economy, such as Reboot in ecotourism and eco-cruising regarding coastal and maritime tourism. And we also could mention some projects under Interreg-Med, such as the Inno-Blue Growth project and Blue Growth Community project in terms of blue economy. So as you can see, ASCAME has been implementing projects in a wide array of sectors, from cultural heritage to supporting and enhancing BCOs to sustainability in terms of tourism, to blue economy, sustainability in terms of new energies, renewable energies, waste management, and at the same time, tourism and blue economies, as I said before, in the blue growth, eco-cruising. So a wide array of projects. And here we could see, well, I will finish here in this example of different projects that we've been implementing in the last years as an example of what ASCAME has been doing across the Mediterranean. And I think that this short description about the policy of the European Union, why they're investing in southern neighborhood, what's the main purpose of the Mediterranean Agency with this 2021-2027 agenda, and the different instruments, mechanisms implemented by the European Commission through this year, and then specific programs such as NextMed program or Interreg Euromed program in the northern part, and NextMed program addressed to the North and South Mediterranean, are very powerful mechanisms to support and strengthen the Mediterranean companies. And of course, I'm repeating again once more, to fight for peace, stability, and support economic prosperity in the Mediterranean. Thank you. Okay, and now I think that we will give the word to Mariana soon. So Mariana, it's your turn. Just
Thank you,
let us
Luis.
close
Thank
the
you.
presentation.
Thank you. This was very interesting, and for me, to be honest, very informative. I learned many new things for me. I also took some notes also on what to focus, considering the interest for the SMEs from the Mediterranean region, the industries that I should focus or highlight when I make my presentation. Just to make sure you can all hear me, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea, for the confirmation. Now, to make sure that everything works fine from the technical point of view, I will be sharing my screen and I will be making a live presentation. So I'll use the website of DevelopmentAid, and I need another confirmation that my screen is visible and you can all see it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I have, what, 1 hour or less than 1 hour, right, to make the entire presentation? Just to know how quick to go through everything. Andrea, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour?
Yeah, between 30 and 45 minutes. Just go on.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. So to introduce myself, as it's already also mentioned on here in Zoom, my name is Mariana. I represent the DevelopmentAid. I'm responsible for strategic partnerships and relations with donors and governments across the world that invest and give financing in the sector of international cooperation. DevelopmentAid is a private company, a company that works in the market of international development since 2007. And since then, we've been basically collecting data and monitoring all forms of official development assistance that were and are given by developed countries into the emerging countries. You've mentioned, Luis, several times COVID. COVID, of course, has changed many things for all of us. But I can also confirm from the communication with the governments and with the donors that indeed after COVID, a lot of resources have been thrown at helping SMEs to really recover, to get more business opportunities, more funding opportunities, and this is where DevelopmentAid can also assist it. We have also, as a private company, we have different partnership arrangements, and my colleague Artem also has confirmed the signing of the partnership with ASCAME. This means that the chambers and the members of ASCAME also benefit of a discount to DevelopmentAid platform. So our business model is based on a membership subscription, and all of ASCAME members can get access to DevelopmentAid at discounted rates. Moreover, I also know that some information, limited part of the information that we monitor will also be distributed through ASCAME to your members. And this is also a way to keep track of relevant opportunities, relevant projects that ASCAME members can be a part of or respond to. I will be going through the platform and showing you different set of tools, because we assist SMEs and not only, of course, companies and entities of all kinds which work in this market. And I will be showing you the network of donors that we monitor, because Luis, you focused a lot on EU, which is a major donor, of course. But besides EU or European Commission, there are so many other sources of business and funding opportunities, or so many other donors that also invest in the Mediterranean region, and they also are worth to have a look at. I will also show you how opportunities can be searched in the tenders and grants database. We also help at the matchmaking. So you know, and also your partners that you've mentioned that you've implemented programs with together as a consortium. It's important to have the right partner. So we also have the necessary tools to help at the matchmaking, finding of the partners, evaluating the partners, performing due diligence, but also the recruitment of consultants, so specific experts specialized in different industries, senior experts that are with us for many years, and also having evidence of their involvement in different development projects across the world. I also mentioned that we are in contact with governments and with donors, and indeed there is a very high focus right now, or the strategies that are set up are specifically to help SMEs. We have different arrangements with the several governments, and one that is relevant to mention right now is the government of Italy. And basically the government of Italy, after COVID, has reached out to us because they saw in us as a solution, an instrument to help SMEs in their internationalization and their export promotion. So basically our arrangement that is already going on for the third year grants free access to SMEs from Italy to DevelopmentAid platform. So if there are any of the SMEs that are members of ASCAME, members of the chambers from Italy, which are interested in getting access to DevelopmentAid, they should know that it's free of charge for them. It's the government of Italy which has subsidized the access or paid at the national level for the SMEs so that they can benefit of this free access. We are in discussion with other governments as well. And for all of the other members, ASCAME members, so the chambers, but also members of the chambers, 10% discount is available for the duration of our partnership. All right, so these were the most important things that I wanted to mention in the very beginning. Now to start with the platform, I have logged in on the platform with credentials, with a login and password, which basically identify me as a member, so as a paid user. And only with a membership, a user or any company, any SME, any chamber basically can access the information that is aggregated, standardized, centralized, and searchable on DevelopmentAid. Like I said, I will start with the donors network. The network of donors, this is the largest network of funding and implementing agencies that exist out there. Here we have all kinds of so-called donors. We just use one word to really put all of those market players, but here we have bilateral, multilateral. We have financial institutions, also international and bilateral, government bodies that are mostly represented by ministries and different specialized agencies, larger NGOs and foundations which also give funding, private sector representatives, utilities, and so on. Donors can be searched through in here by the name, by legal residence, but really the most interesting or useful filtering criteria is to look at those donors that are focusing or investing in different countries, in different sectors, as well as giving grants per countries and per sectors. So yeah, I can make a search in here. We can put, for instance, some countries for the sake of the presentation. So I will take, for instance, we don't have Mediterranean region separately, but if I put MENA region, and then I can add up some countries, let's say Spain, I can add Portugal, right? Right, what else? Egypt is mentioned, Jordan. So for example, these countries, if I put them in the search, Libya is in here, I click search and I get a range of donors that focus on these countries, and of course I can narrow it by industries as well. Considering what Luis has presented, I'll pick up a few sectors also for the sake of the presentation. I'll take environment, I'll take energy, technology, or digitalization is classified as information communication technology on development aid. So I can narrow the list of donors. It's still very broad. And I am making a general presentation right now, but to any of the ASCAME members interested in a one-on-one presentation, we can organize it and to make searches specifically for you, specifically for the sectors and countries of your interest, so that it's more relevant and more tailored. We end up here with a list of donors, and I'll scroll through the list, I'm sure. And those that are on top are the most popular. They are ranked by the number of opportunities, but you'll find many more in here that are worth to really track and to keep an eye on, to see what are they financing, or what type of calls. And so let's take for instance Millennium Challenge Corporation. There is certain intelligence that we store and we track and we provide for every so-called donor profile. And this information is aggregated in the different sub-menus. There is general information with the rules and procedures, how to respond to different calls. So donors are different in how they organize their procurement processes, their grant application. So it's important to know where to register, which steps to follow. There is also information about countries that are eligible to respond to every single donor, and some general analysis on how does that donor manage its funding. Is it through third parties? Is it through local offices? Do they do any co-funding for tenders and grants? And the ratio of direct versus indirect management. This is general information, like I mentioned. Usually to get in contact with donors is also a challenging process. Donors are also quite bureaucratic or often decentralized, and development aid helps out with this. We provide a directory of contacts indicated in the profile of the donor. Quite often in the offices of the donor you'll find local contact people. So that's a great way to be able to send a message to these people who are procurement officers, contracting officers, grant managers, all those public contact people who are managing these development projects. And you can send out a message to them directly from development aid, so by being logged in, and then to get a response directly on your email. Then we can collect and connect all those tenders and grants that are given by a certain donor to the profile of the donor in order to provide an overview. It's a great way to understand how do donors invest, in the sense of by region, industries, category, what type of contracts do they finance, and are they most of their projects really in the country of their where the donor comes from, or do they focus internationally and on other markets. There is a mini search engine that allows to filter calls only from a certain donor's calls, filterable by keywords, location, categories, supply of goods, works, consulting, non-consulting services, again, sectors. Since we appeared in the market, we've never had any limit on industries or countries. So whatever is being shared by a certain funding agency donor is picked up by development aid and put in the system, classified and updated at different stages of the project cycle. Development aid is also proud to have information of strategic importance. A lot of this information makes a huge difference in the chances of companies to win calls. And it's classified as early intelligence information or pre-pipeline, under which we include country programming or the country plans of donors, formulation of project idea, approval of financing, and the actual procurement process where forecast, open, close, shortlist awards, award notices are published. And of course, the user SMEs can filter out these opportunities. Inside every call, all of the necessary information is found. I will show you when we get to the tenders page to finish with the presentation of the donor profile. You will see that also grants are in here. In practice, there are always less grants than calls, than tenders. Nonetheless, you'll see that, of course, NGOs and foundations having more grants that are given as a funding instrument. Jobs is a menu that is looked by consultants, individual experts. We also have them in here. And contractors is a unique analysis that really SMEs want to have access to, and it can make a huge difference, because when some of the SMEs decide to work not just, for example, with EU, but with other donors, and they need to know which are those companies that usually get awarded by a certain donor. And this is the type of information that we do provide. Development aid also shows, for example, for MCC, we see a large proportion of contracts goes to companies from Morocco. Right, 31%, Ghana, El Salvador, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire. And here below, these companies are also ranked by the number of awards. This is a great way to know whom to contact, whom to consider as a strong partner in forming a consortium with, in forming a joint venture, and to respond to calls from MCC. Knowing that those companies usually have already experience in winning contracts from, in this case, Millennium Challenge Corporation, it's a smart strategy to increase chances of winning a contract. There is, for some of the donors, and specifically for those who also have units responsible for responding to calls, there is sometimes information on the pricing strategy or on the country strategy papers that show the focus of the donors for different countries or markets, for different regions. And they can easily be downloaded with a simple click. We are in the donors menu, so we took an example. We made the search in here. Like I said, we can make a one-on-one presentation for every entity interested. Here is European Commission as another example, with all of the rules and procedures, all of the agencies that are tracked by us, different departments, contact details, tenders, grants, contractors. Very, very interesting to look at and to learn that European Commission gives 24% of its contracts to companies from Italy, then from Spain, France, Germany, and Belgium. And then these companies are also ranked by the number of times that they got awarded. All of these companies are strong, very competitive, and really reliable and strong partners to be considered, especially by SMEs, right? SMEs usually require more support in order to, especially those that are new to this. We will move on to the grants menu. In case there are non-for-profit organizations which are part of the chambers, they can also search for grants in here. Like I said, in terms of opportunities, they're always less than tenders, and SMEs are usually looking for tenders in here. And because of our focus today, I will jump straight to the tenders, even though tenders menu doesn't differ very much from the grants menu in terms of search engine. It's important to know that any user can perform searches in here that define the industry or the area that the entity is active in, including green energy, including technology, environment, climate change, water management, and so on. I have here examples from so many other presentations, and if I put, for instance, green economy, I'll use that for the sake of the presentation. I use this keyword in double quotes. There is a question mark here that explains how to search. We train every SME. We train it to explain how to use these keywords, how to speak to the system so that it provides you the relevant results. Where should these keywords be? In the title, in the description? I will take the same search that I did, and I will include MENA region, but also add a few other countries. So Portugal, Spain, Italy, Malta, for instance, and I'll click OK. Again, searches can be adjusted. 759 calls that are in different industries. So we can, information that is on DevelopmentAid is classified according to different sectors. But the main search is by keyword. And here we have all kind of calls, be that either supply of goods, if an SME is providing some products, or if it's providing some services under consulting services, non-consulting services. Funding agencies, very important. So here the user understands very well what is our coverage, which agencies do we monitor, which donors from all over the world, so that they know what type of information they can expect to receive from us, from which sources. Like I said, many of the donors are very decentralized, right? Having the information not in one place, and this is also a gap that we fill in. Information is classified again under different stages, and for upcoming calls, we recommend the users to look at 4 stages, which is formulation, approval, forecast, open, but also shortlist and awards is a smart way to really understand the competition, to understand which companies are active in which industries and are leading in certain markets. Here below, we end up with 200 calls, and we can have a look at what is in here for the green economy, the search that I've made. Here is on top a call from Enabil in Palestine, GIZ, French Development Agency, World Bank, for instance. Here, this is an early intelligence call co-financed by AFD and the World Bank in Morocco, and it was updated 5 days ago. Here we have green services portfolio in Egypt, for instance. I will take the example of GIZ. And this is how the tenders are displayed inside. And the membership only gives access to this information, all of the necessary documentation that is uploaded by our team with the basic details, deadline, a funding agency, contracting authority, project cycle timeline here, which helps you understand how a project that was launched years ago, how it results into multiple awards, or sometimes they never turn into actual projects. Description, if there is any link to the source, contact details, and here below, in an automated manner. So we are also recommending potential partners, international partners. You have top 2 recommendations, and also for local partners, in this case from Egypt. There are more recommendations here below. So you have here top 2, but also consultants, international experts, and local experts. Our system also makes a search and shows you what other similar calls from other donors by location, by sectors were announced, were launched. It is very important for such a system like ours to be notified, or to have the possibility of being notified on time about calls that are relevant to an SME. And for that, we offer the tender alert functionality. In fact, we give the possibility to any SME to create unlimited alerts with different criteria, with different settings, with the different frequency, daily, twice per week, weekly, and to put in here keywords again that really reflect the product or the services that an SME is providing. the time when this alert should be sent to which email address. In fact, multiple emails can be put in there. Donors, location, status, languages in which the call should be in. Is it in Spanish? Some of the donors publish only in some languages or in multiple languages, so you have this functionality as well. Category, eligibility, and is it a new call or a call that was already launched and is just being updated. I'm using a demo account, and you can all see the examples of my own alerts. I can edit, remove my alerts. In the same time, I can understand what are my colleagues also tracking and monitoring. Like I said, multiple alerts can be set up at any moment. This second component or stage that we help with the SMEs is in the forming of the partnership, consortium, joint venture. And for that, we offer our organizations database and the partnerships menu. Organizations database is a network of more than 300,000 entities of all kinds and sizes. And what unites them all in here, why they're all in here, is because they have experience in these projects in international cooperation. So this is a very relevant database for finding partners and those who are really active in this donor-funded market. And I will make a search in here as well. Let me take, I think I saw someone from Jordan attending today, and I'll take Jordan as an example. These numbers change daily. This is a platform that is alive in the sense of having companies and experts and donors register every day with DevelopmentAid. So today we have more than 1,000 entities from Jordan. I'll scroll through the list, and some of the names can be also familiar to the participants from Jordan. And again, for every company account, we store data, we show what was their project experience. Project experience by region, by country. Here is information on this engineering firm from Jordan, having experience with multiple donors, including European Commission, but also other contact details to reach out to. Usually companies use DevelopmentAid to mention it as a space where the company account was found. But also when they get in contact with another company, they usually make reference to the information that they saw, that they found on DevelopmentAid about them, which includes their project experience by region, by funding agency, by sectors, and their so-called award ratio, the proportion of projects that they got shortlisted versus awarded for. But also, we, in an automated manner, calculate and show who are the top companies that the company, in this case, the company from Jordan, has formed partnership with, and who are their competitors. This is all based on the collection of shortlists and awards. So I go to the next submodule where we have 34 calls, out of which for 30, we already know who was awarded. And there are 4 current shortlists for which Arab Tech Jordania Group from Jordan is expecting to be awarded. They are either a partner, in fact, in all of the projects, they're a partner, but they can also take the role of a leader in a consortium. And these are all projects from the German Development Bank in Jordan. If we're looking at their entire project experience, we can also learn those for which other contracts they have been shortlisted. Like in here from Tanzania, pardon me, from World Bank, also in Jordan, in Yemen, from UN organizations, and so on and so forth. Every reference, every contract here also shows which are other companies that were shortlisted and eventually awarded. For example, this call in Palestine, it's an ongoing project financed by the German Development Bank. And it includes multiple components, and this call was awarded to a consortium led by a German company with a local engineering firm, as I understand, from Palestine. And those who were shortlisted, the leaders and the partners. And here is Arab Tech that we started our search with from Jordan being shortlisted together with Fichtner and another German company. This is very important information that is really needed and can make a huge difference to SMEs, especially when understanding whom to approach, who should be a partner, who is strong in different industries, who has done projects before in the past, similar to those open contracts. Also, sometimes, and I forgot to add this in my account, but there is also information on the financial offer that the companies have submitted. Very, very important to understand even the competitors and to know how much of a discounted offer should you offer to stay ahead of competition, to submit a proposal that is more financially feasible. We also have data on sanctioned organizations, quite unique information that is aggregated from multiple sources. We also have governments sharing this data through us. And we give you the name of the companies, we give you the office, who releases this information, start date, end date, and the reason why a company ended up being sanctioned or blacklisted. Partnerships menu. This is an active way of finding a partner, and it basically, by the way, as a part of our partnership, we give the possibility to all ASCAME members and to members of the chambers of ASCAME to come in here and to publish a call through which you can say that you are looking for a partner. This is what the service is designed to do. And it allows the possibility to announce such a call where you define what type of partner you're looking for, where should it come from, where is the project that you intend to respond to. Sometimes you can even put a link to the terms of references. And then we, as a platform, we will be disseminating your call on social media. We use for that LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We will be distributing it through newsletters to our network of 300,000 entities. So that's another way to reach out to partners, to reach out to companies. That's a great way to make yourselves visible, especially as an SME, especially for an SME that is new to this. And last component is the search for consultants. DevelopmentAid is very well known for having high quality services, especially a strong database of CVs of consultants, senior experts from all over the world. Our services are used by different European Commission agencies, development banks, governments across the world. And when we started in 2007, we had a network of 1,000 people. Now we're proud to have more than 100,000. And these are all accounts that have been maintained by us, updated by us. We are in contact with the experts. So we give this resource, we make it available to our members to search for consultants who can be contracted and of course contacted. I will make another search in here, and I will use this time digitalization, for instance. I put this keyword, the system again searches through all of the fields. We train, allow me to repeat myself, we train the users on how to use the platform, how to search. We organize one-on-one presentations, tailored presentations, and here we end up with more than 1,000 records, 1,000 individuals. Here is, for instance, even the second one from Jordan. I'll take this example, this consultant from Jordan with more than 26 years of experience, the CVs, contact details, description. So companies and donors, and not only, they can get in contact with those people who register in here, who put their CVs, and eventually contract the consultant for a project. The same is for SMEs. And like I mentioned, they're really a broad source or pool of consultants to search through and to find really the consultants that are needed. And jobs menu is also a passive usually method to recruit consultants, and that gives the possibility to SMEs to come in here and to publish a job through which SMEs are saying that they are looking for a specialist in different countries, a specialist in different industries. And again, DevelopmentAid uses all its channels to generate visibility, to generate exposure, so that consultants and not only companies respond and react and get in contact one with another. I think that I'm more or less running out of time. I would like to maybe to leave time for questions and answers. And with that, I thank everyone for listening, and I hope this was informative. So thank you.
Thank you to you, Mariana. I think that we have now the floor open. I don't know if there are questions or any one of the people just listening us and maybe they want to participate or make a question.
I
We
saw a
have
question in
questions
chat.
Yeah.
This one, is Lebanon listed in the countries?
Yeah, one person was saying if Lebanon is listed in your database.
Certainly is. It is. I could have used Lebanon for the search, but we don't have any limit per country or per industry. So Lebanon is certainly one of the countries in there. Yes.
I think there's no questions.
No, well, thank you, Mariana, for the whole perspective of the services that you're offering. I think it was more interesting to see that we talk about some programs in the Mediterranean. You show a lot of bilateral cooperation. I mean, there were USAID, SIDA from Sweden, JICA from Japan. There were many bilateral cooperations. At the same time, I think that it's a very powerful tool if you work in this sector for professionals also to put the CV, and then companies and at the same time organizations, international organizations looking for people can have a first look here. Maybe for BCOs, we are more used to present in consortia looking for big programs in the Mediterranean. But I also found pretty interesting the possibility of checking companies in the sector that are in your database and that can be a good partner if we want to make a consortia. We were just smiling because when you were presenting the list of companies, we saw a very familiar company which is participating in a very important program in the European Union, WestMed. So we saw that Spanish company there. I'm not saying the name, but we saw it there. And I think it's funny. I think it's very worthy. And I just want to put this example. When the people in charge of the new NextMed program, former ENI Med program, launched the NextMed for school, they opened like a section in their website if you wanted to make a match and look for a partner. In this case, maybe some people found a partner there, maybe some people do not find a partner, but I think that your tool is very powerful because if you're looking for companies or good partners or maybe interesting companies to make a consortium and you're missing one partner from one country, because in some stages, I mean, they were asking 3 from the north, 3 from the south, or 4 from the north, 4 from the south. And you were saying, okay, but who is the best partner for me from Tunisia or from Turkey or from Algeria? And we were just looking for people in Algeria or companies in Algeria. In that case, if you have in your website some good private partners from Algeria or some good institutions or companies or foundations or I don't know, think tanks that could participate as a partner, I mean, that was very interesting at that moment because it was not easy to find good partners from some specific countries. So I think that for BCOs or for other institutions, foundations, or private partners looking for partners, when you want to make a consortium, it's also a good tool. So
thank you, Luis. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. And you know, it's challenging not just for companies to find the right partner and the local partner, but also sometimes for donors to find a supplier or a vendor. You'll be surprised how often we hear it from development banks, from governments, and they also struggle. And we also try to help in that as well. And I think that now ASCAME also has access to development aid, and you can also make use of these tools. Your members also can benefit of quite some services free of charge because of this arrangement, and also of discounted rates for other services. So I really hope that, you know, because it's a question of really using it. And once you use it, you navigate, you find, you get in contact. It takes to be proactive. One thing is to get the access, which I think that you and I mean, ASCAME and DevelopmentAid has facilitated and has made the first step, but now it takes the members to really be proactive and to publish and to post and to search and to look and yeah.
Mariana, I totally agree with you. As you were saying, the most important right now is to give the first step and start using the tool and navigate. Maybe I'm just launching an idea. Maybe you could support us, and for the next 3 months, just for the next 3 months, if you see something interesting for BCOs, for chambers of commerce, you just could send us an email. Hey, Luis, or hey, General Secretariat of ASCAME, or Andrea, or Paola, we saw that for BCOs. So chambers could start watching that, hey, this is useful for us. I mean,
We can do that.
Here, we can get it.
We can do that, Luis, and I think I will double check with my colleague Artyom, who was in charge of this arrangement. But I think that he has set up some of the alerts already. It just takes some time, like 10 minutes to spend and to set up those alerts, and they will be sent automatically to you or to your colleagues, not just for 3 months, but for the 1 year, for the duration of our partnership. And whenever there is something new in there, you and your colleagues will get it in your inbox. I will just double check if it was set up, but I think it was. And if it's something that is just for the BCOs, then we can, you can, for example, prepare some keywords that are specific, like SMEs empowerment or private sector development, or you would know better what they would
these
need.
kind of keywords,
Yeah, we can put that in the alert, and the system will do it automatically. Whenever there is something new posted in there, it will just pick it and send it. And then you can respond, you can share it further.
Okay.
Hi, this is Rabah from Jordan. I would like to ask a question. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for this informative session. For the use of the platform, is it free of charge, or we have to register, and you know, is it a paid? We have to pay for using it. This is the first question, and the second question is actually the same as was said. If we are registered, and maybe then we will receive alerts on anything new, or any opportunities for projects or cooperations and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. I'll start with the second one. Yes, certainly you can register, and we can, for every company, we assign a person, an account manager, so-called account manager, who will schedule a call with you and will help you to set up alerts, just like we did with ASCAME. And once you set them up, you will get in your inbox relevant calls depending on the industries and countries that you're focused on, and the sectors and so on that define your activity. So yes. Second, for Jordan, we don't have yet any arrangement that would give free access like we have for Italy. But I want to share that we are in quite advanced stages of communication with World Bank Jordan, also of arranging something like that, so that all SMEs from Jordan get free access to development aid. But until then, you can consider any of the packages, subscribe packages, but we will discount it with 10% because of the arrangement, because you're a member of ASCAME. So you still need to consider a paid subscription, and we will discount it with 10% because of this partnership.
Thank you. I hope that this talk with the World Bank will lead to a more convenient situation for us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
I don't know if someone else of our friends who are just watching and listening, any more questions? Don't be shy. Okay.
One thing, if it's okay, can we get more information, you know, like if you have a leaflet about the platform and so on, to be sent to us? Is that okay?
I think this is a question for Luis or Andrea, because we don't have like your contacts, but certainly Andrea or Luis or any of the ASCAME employees.
Okay.
We can share any materials that can be distributed, certainly.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, from our side, we were just talking precisely about this with Andrea and Paola. We will share this recording and the presentation, and so everyone could have access to what we've been talking today. Okay, and if you have any additional questions or you have more questions for us, just write to the General Secretariat or to Paola, and then we could get in touch with Mariana and share the questions with her.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. So, well, I don't know if we have more questions. If not, Mariana, thank you a lot for this presentation. It was great hearing what you were offering to our members. And as always, and this is the purpose of our agreement, where we are at your service. Please contact us whenever you need it. And for our members, I hope that you like this presentation, that you enjoy being today talking about funding in the Mediterranean. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everyone. It was really a pleasure. It was very interesting for me as well to learn new things. And I hope everyone else found it worthwhile to attend. And we also remain at your disposal, and we remain in contact for the implementation of our partnership. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.